The Dodgers have won the World Series is something that many diehard Dodger fans like myself have been waiting for a very long time. Now that wait's over. But despite the team's recent success, I still feel like many people who identify themselves as Dodger fans don't know enough, if anything, about the team's history. So today, I'm going to take the time to explain about how what started out as a small team based in Brooklyn turned out to be a World Series winning team that's globally recognized from Los Angeles. According to a report published by ESPN.com, reporter Stephen A. Smith expressed in February of 2021 that the Dodgers were the most dominant team in baseball. I believe that as residents of Southern California, most of us identify as Dodger fans because it's almost embedded in our culture here. I grew up, and we all grew up with hearing stories of Sandy Koufax and Tommy Lasorda, and it's also all over local news and TV stations here. I believe I am qualified to teach you about the Dodgers because I am a lifelong Dodger fan, and I am also a former season ticket holder. And I've heard a lot of stories, and I've put in a lot of time and research into the Dodgers' history and past. In this speech, I will just be giving you an explanation about the Dodgers' start and how they came to be the great team that they are today. In the speech, I will first explain the Dodgers' origin story in Brooklyn. Second, I will explain the Dodgers' move to Los Angeles. And thirdly, I will explain the current state of the Dodgers today. First, I'm going to explain the early Brooklyn years. The Dodgers were originally founded in 1883, but they were then called the Brooklyn Atlantics. This was due to the fact that they bordered the Atlantic Ocean. They joined the American Association in 1884, and the team won their first pennant in 1889. They were one of the first four teams to join the National League, and this is where they would develop their long-standing rivalry with the then New York Giants that would last decades and move cross-country, and it is still in effect today. In 1932, they officially changed their name from the Brooklyn Atlantics to the Brooklyn Dodgers. In a report titled Dodgers History, published by History.com in June of 2018, the name Dodgers came from people dodging trolley cars in the Brooklyn streets in the 1900s. The team played at Ebbets Field, and this is where they would gain worldwide notoriety for calling up African-American baseball player Jackie Robinson and finally giving him a shot. According to an article published by History.com titled The History of Jackie, the call-up was just supposed to be an experiment, and the Dodgers had no idea that what they did would cause a chain reaction and cause many African-American players to finally get their shot. Now that I've discussed the team's early Brooklyn years, I'm now going to discuss the team's move to Los Angeles. LA officials in 1957 expressed their want for a new baseball team. The New York Giants and the Brooklyn Dodgers expressed the most interest out of all the teams in wanting to relocate to California. According to an article published by History.com titled The Dodgers Today, all of the MLB owners gathered in Chicago to have a conference meeting, and it was decided that the only way for California to get baseball teams is either both the Giants and the Dodgers had to move at once or no teams were allowed to move at all. It was decided in 1957 on September 29th that the Dodgers would move to Los Angeles and leave their fans in Brooklyn. They played at the LA Coliseum until the Chavez Ravine, formerly known as Dodger Stadium, was built in 1962. The team was an instant success and broke numerous attendance records in 1962 and in 63, and the team also won 3 World Series in 1959, 1963, and in 1965. The team's last World Series of the 20th century came in 1988 when they defeated the Oakland Athletics, and this would start a dry spell which would last 32 years and wouldn't end until this past October in 2020 when the Dodgers would defeat the Tampa Bay Rays for the World Series. Now that I've explained the Dodgers move to Los Angeles, I'm now going to explain the current state of the Dodgers today. Like I mentioned earlier, the Dodgers are the reigning 2020 champs. This means this came after 32 long years of waiting as a Dodger fan. They won by defeating the Tampa Bay Rays in a 6-game series in October of 2020. This is the team's 7th World Series title. And in February of 2021, the team recently acquired pitcher Trevor Bauer from a trade with the Cincinnati Reds. With this trade, they are widely considered by many to be the best team in baseball. According to a report titled Power Rankings published by MLB.com in February of 2021, The Dodgers were ranked number 1. This means that the Dodgers were voted most by all the MLB critics and MLB league officials to be the team most likely to win the World Series in this next season. Now that I've discussed the current state of the Dodgers, let's conclude. In this speech, I first covered the Dodgers' early Brooklyn years. Secondly, I discussed the Dodgers' move to Los Angeles. And thirdly, I discussed the current state of the Dodgers today. I hope that many of us who identify as Dodger fans took something from this video and learned a little bit about their favorite team. The Los Angeles Dodgers have won the World Series is something that many Dodger fans like myself have been waiting for, and now that wait is finally come to an end.